Instead of boring you with a presentation about oversimplified facts supporting why education fails, I'd like to take this time to highlight one educator in particular who enables student successes inside and outside of the classroom.
Hello, my name is Kevin Tkachuk. I live in Elverson, Pennsylvania. I am originally from Canada and have now lived in America for almost a decade. I work at the Hill School. I am a history teacher here. I am the department chair of the History and Social Sciences Department. I am the boys golf coach, newly appointed. I have coached football, wrestling, and girls golf here at the school.
Outside of academics, Coach Tkachuk is one of my coaches at the football program. He works with our defense and offensive line, our tight ends, a great morale guy, great motivator for our guys, gives our guys a spark at practice every day, really helps guys get ready and sets the tone for our practices. And Kevin does a great job with our team, and he's a vital part of our coaching staff here at the Hill football program.
Hi, I'm Hunter Langford. I'm a fourth former at Hill, and I had Mr. T's class last year for third form year.
How was his class?
His class is always exciting. It's one of those classes you go to every morning, yes, I got that class first period. He's always a great guy and mentored me throughout the year, especially in history, and gave me a lot of knowledge.
What was your first impression of him versus what you kind of know him as now?
Well, my first impression was, wow, this is a big guy. This guy is no joke. He's strong. But then, as a teacher, he showed his intellectual side, and then his brain is also big. So, you know what I'm saying?
When I first heard, or when I first met him and heard about his resume, professional rugby player, just his presence, his physical presence, I was like, this guy could snap me in half if he wanted to.
It's hard to remember. Mr. T's third form 20th century history class was actually my first class ever at Hill. I remember the day very clearly. And I was a little anxious at first because, kind of like other people have said, he kind of gives off like the tough guy look. But as I got to know him, he's really nice. He's probably one of the most wholesome people that I've met here, just genuinely kind and wants to see everyone succeed. So I think as you get to know him better, he really changes your perspective on him.
I love him so much, and he's honestly one of the best teachers I've had at Hill, and he makes my Hill experience very wholesome, especially with my interest in history.
Why do you think Mr. Tkachuk excels as a teacher here?
Yeah, I would say Mr. T is very interesting in his teaching approach. He really honestly lets us talk about whatever we want to talk about. Like when R.I.P. Evan, when he was in our class, he would talk about Hitler, and it was just a very interesting discourse. And a lot of teachers would not allow you to do that. And also, he's just a part of many different aspects at Hill. He's honestly such a great, it's equal, he's very balanced. He's such a great person plus a great teacher,
So one thing, one issue that history departments can have is they can be stuck in history, right? Doing the same things without always reevaluating. And he's been great at thinking, okay, how do we rethink this? Where should we keep traditions, but where should we, shake up sacred cows, right? What should we do with our world history courses to try and make them up to date, right? And this is the one thing that's really a survey course in the department. One of the big initiatives coming forward is how we, try and incorporate term courses. And we know that under his leadership, we'll have the, we'll be encouraged to experiment and try new things and bring our passions to the students. So his encouragement and openness makes that possible, right? The history office is always a very welcoming place to come in because that he's going to be supportive and not judgmental and just fun and interesting to talk to as well, right? How many Canadians do you enjoy talking with about American politics, right?
One of the reasons I got involved in education is because I do fully believe and subscribe to sort of this idea of, holistic education.
I think he really encourages students to think on their own, like what he does in classes. He lets us read all of these different kinds of books with different opinions, and he allows the floor for us to discuss all of our opinions freely. He provides his own insight, but he never pushes the opinions on people, and it's sort of like just an environment that we could talk freely about our opinions and exchange ideas, and I really love that.
And he's also just, I just like to say this, he's just a real guy, you know, like he's just a normal person for as awesome as he is. Athletically and academically, he's just another normal guy, and you can just talk to him and have a normal conversation.
Right, we're not just here to serve one aspect of our beings. Like education should be about developing the whole person. Whether that's, partially athletic, partially scholastic, partially musical, partially spiritual, whatever. So I do think that our mission here and what we do at the Hill is a good one.
Mr. T is probably one of the most knowledgeable faculty members on campus, not necessarily just in like the subject he teaches, but he's very worldly. He always talks about his experience living in England, Canada, and now in the US, but also just like all of the books that he's read about different topics. He's just very well-rounded, and I think that's something that's really important in a teacher and just a community member, someone that isn't overly specialized in whatever subject they teach. He's really knowledgeable, and he's great at sharing that knowledge, but without pushing any certain view on you.
I'll start with just our students' perception of him, and I've heard this from advisees, different students that I've taught as well. They'll all love Mr. Tkachuk. He brings a wealth of knowledge. One memory I have is one kid told me they asked Mr. T a question in class, and he didn't know the answer in class. The next day, he came back to class knowing everything about a topic that kid asked him about. And it's just that's what sums up Kevin. And then as a colleague, I'd like to tell him I really appreciate him being that quiet role model, someone I see how they approach their work and approach the people they work with and work for. And he's someone I really look up to as I carry on my journey at Hill. So thank you, Kevin.
And what does he mean to Hill and Hill's community?
I think he's one of the most invaluable history teachers here. He's one of the, at least in my experience, one of the best history teachers I've ever had. And I think his perspectives on, because he's read so many different books, his perspective on history, and especially pertaining to modern history and current views on politics, is very invaluable, and I really respect that.
Well, what's your fondest memory of Mr. Tkachuk?
Okay, my first one would be, it's H-term, we're all really just stressed out about our communist paper that we have to write, and Mr. T comes in and he's like, why are you guys in here? Why are you guys in here? We're going to Starbucks. That was top 5 moments of my life that I'll remember.
Some memories I highlight with Mr. T, he did the rock pose with the little man bag satchel and the necklace and the turtleneck. So that's one thing I'll always remember about Mr. T, is that he did the Dwayne Johnson look in black and white. It was kind of funny.
I just remember when they were asking me, I had to choose between two Hill employees that had some wrestling experience and which one that I preferred to have. I remember looking up Mr. T and seeing that he had his own Wikipedia page, and it became a bit of a stalker and looked him up as much and found out as much information as I possibly could. And my first initial thought was this is a scary guy. He's a pretty intimidating look to him, especially when you consider his rugby career. I was just a bit surprised that he's very soft-spoken, he's very thoughtful, very charismatic, thinks before he speaks, he's very careful with the words that come out of his mouth. He's very measured in that way, and he brought a sense of this even keel to our wrestling staff, because I'm quite the opposite. I'm pretty short-tempered at times, and can get a bit emotional. So he was a great balance for me, especially in those early years as we were trying to build the program, and there was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of frustration along the way.
How you doing? My name is Jason Mickley, sixth former here. And actually, one thing I remember about Coach T, that when I was here and I was doing my bench press test my 10th grade year, he came up to me and goes, "You belong here." And that just stuck with me. But yeah, he was just a big dude, friendly dude, down to earth guy.
And what's your favorite memory with Mr. T?
Favorite memory is just pregame, him just coming up to me, just get me hyped up, fired up, and he's just fired up. Just that beautiful specimen he is, just getting all rowdy. fires me up. And yeah, I just say this him being himself.
Man, there was a dual meet a couple years ago where we were wrestling for the Pesa Championship, and we were wrestling Kiski, and we had two Dantes on our team, and I just remember we were gonna wrestle a kid named Dante McQueen, but we had another kid, Dante Donaldson, who ended up being our heavyweight. And when we turned around and said, "Hey, Dante, you're gonna wrestle," we looked out on the mat, and the wrong Dante went out on the mat. And once you present, you can't make changes. So the dual meet really came down to this. But I remember both of us sitting there like, man, if this guy doesn't get the job done, we were gonna be pretty upset with him. I'll just leave it at that. But he ended up getting the win, and we ended up winning the Pesa title. And I just remember sharing that with him. Was really special for me. When we took over the wrestling program 7 years ago, I think there were only 3, maybe 4 returning kids on the team, and like I said, there were a lot of not so fun moments in that, a lot of growing pains along the way, and to be able to kind of share that that growth with him was really special for me. I know we miss him in our program now that he's coaching golf, but wish him and his family all the best. Always tried to have him put his family's needs first, and just really excited for him.
What has he meant to Hill and Hill's community?
A lot. Kevin is how would I put this? Kevin is a quiet role model to students and young faculty members like myself. He just brings a calm presence to meetings in the department, and then the way he interacts with students in the classroom, but then also on the golf course with the girls, he just brings that calm yet assuming presence that really helps the school, but also really helps a young faculty member like myself trying to find my feet in the world of education.
I think his care for students and how passionate he is about teaching, but also just what he does at Hill, and I think his genuine love and care for everyone he interacts with is really what sets him apart from any other teacher I've ever had.
Well, he fosters an environment of learning like no other. Our class having discussions out in the gazebo is something you won't get in any other class. Enjoying the outdoors, but also having educational conversations.
He always shows up no matter what. If it's pouring down rain or if it's sunny, he's always there. He always has our backs. And again, just a really supportive person. And he's made a very positive impact on the Hill Girls Golf program.
They asked me on Zoom if I wanted to take AP Gov or this history seminar. And I was like, you know what, okay, like maybe I'll take history seminar because AP Gov. And I was kind of regretting it, and I was like, I should have taken an AP, and then I get to class, and it's like, okay, we're sitting, we're talking, and I'm like, wow, now sitting here at the end of the school year, I don't regret my decision at all. I'm super happy at a history sem with Mr. T, and he's honestly probably go down in my Hall of Fame of one of the best teachers I've ever had, so.
And what separates Mr. Tkachuk from other Hill faculty members?
Oh, it's easy. He's just he actually, teaching aside, he cares about his students on a personal level, especially his players. He'll come up to you, make sure you're doing all right, and he's just cares about you for who you are, not the type of student you are, I'd say.
I just think he's probably one of the most genuine human beings that I've ever been around. Someone you can trust. He's someone that you can confide in. He's someone that will speak his mind if you ask him his opinion. And I think there's real value in that. In a world where sometimes perception can kind of overrule the reality of things with people and social media. I think what you see is what you get, and that's a very honest and genuine guy. And I just think he's an approachable person that students feel comfortable going to, that faculty feel that they can go and speak to, and it also helps that he's excellent at his job. He's an excellent teacher, and I'm sure he's going to make an excellent department chair. I know he's in his first year doing that, but he's just a well-respected guy by everyone on this campus.
And what has he meant to the Hill girls golf team this year?
He means everything to the girls golf team.
This season wouldn't have been the same without him. He brings such a good energy every single day to practice, even when the girls aren't feeling it. He's so much fun. He's just like energy, and that is so needed sometimes. He's so caring, and just, yeah, this season wouldn't be the same without him.
I think this year he was a great addition to the coaching staff, and he showed a lot of support and really helped our team both on the golf course, but that also culturally, and helped, you know, get the vibe up. And we'll miss him next year, but I know we'll see him around the course as the boys golf coach.
All right, I know I said last two, I got one more here. Obviously, being a teacher and being a coach is kind of a demanding job, away from your family, sometimes living off campus, obviously. Why do what you do?
Yeah, so for me, it's really about what was given to me. I'm a big proponent in service. I think that we always have to ask what we can do to serve others. And I had an amazing experience as a high school student. I wasn't the greatest student. I constantly getting into trouble, and then I came across football, and I came across a couple men that just helped me, kept me on the right path. And I still, those coaches, I'm in regular contact with. Whenever I get home, we go out and meet up, and I just always felt that I wanted to be able to sort of provide that for other people, that opportunity. And so for me, it's about service. Obviously we're not paid that well. There are other jobs that certainly we could all do that would be more rewarding in terms of monetary rewards, but that's not my sort of, that's not what makes me tick, right? At the end of the day, what makes me tick is feeling a sense of purpose, and that this job every day, in every job that I've ever had when teaching for 15 years now, I wake up every single day and I look forward to come to work. And I mean that 100%. That's not hyperbole. I enjoy my job. I enjoy working with athletes and young people, and it's just, it brings me a great sense of purpose and joy.
If you could say one thing to Mr. Tkachuk, what would it be?
Mr. Tkachuk serves a lot of roles here at Hill. Not only is he a teacher, a coach, a mentor, advisor, and things of that nature. Obviously, he does a great job as the head of the department. Unfortunately, next year he will not be on my coaching staff for football, and I'm certainly going to miss him. He's going to take over our golf program for the boys in 2025, 2026, and so football will certainly miss him. I will certainly miss him, as I'm very appreciative of all he's done during my 2 years here as the head coach. Again, as I said, he's always prepared. He always has great enthusiasm, and our players love him. And I know the golf team is getting a really wonderful person to lead their program. But sadly, we're losing a wonderful person from the football program. But I just want Kevin to know that I greatly appreciate all he has done for Hill football before I got here and during my tenure here. And I'm grateful for all he's done, the sacrifices he has made away from his daughter and his wife to be here. Mr. Tkachuk doesn't live on campus, so he has to travel to practices in the off season, in the summer, and to camp and stuff like that. So I have fond memories of being with Mr. Tkachuk, and I will miss him sorely, but I'm very hopeful and glad for his opportunity to lead a program here at Hill, the golf program. I fully support him in the athletic director's office and can't wait to see the wonderful things he's going to do in his career as a head coach here at Hill.
If you could say one thing to Mr. T, what would it be?
Thank you for just being who you are, being nice to me, taking me under your wing, being a good coach, good guy, good mentor, and Dad, thank you.
I would say, Mr. T, just thank you so much for letting me be in your class this year. I really appreciate it. I had such a great time getting to learn from you and just being a part of the class environment. And I'll never forget this class, and it's only encouraged me more to want to major in history. So, thank you. I would just say thank you. I mean, honestly, I don't think I express my gratitude to him enough for what he does for me and the rest of the team, both on the course and outside of the course. He's just a really amazing person, and just keep lifting people up at Hill. It's really important.
First of all, thank you so much, and for this class, for this year's experience, I've learned so much, and it's honestly my favorite class this year, and I'm so glad that I was able to take your class, and you've been such a great teacher. Thank you.
Thanks for everything, and thanks for being such a supportive and helpful person in my Hill career. Even though you were only my teacher for 1 year, you've meant a lot to me and have been with me every step of the way.
It would just be thank you. Like, as someone who really enjoys history, you have furthered my love for it, absolutely. Whether it was freshman year class or History 7 this year, and then you being the golf coach was so much fun. I truly couldn't imagine my Hill experience without you, both as my teacher and my coach. I'm really grateful.
Yeah, I think living off campus presents an extra challenge. You know, his wife works full time, as she's a traveling veterinarian, and you know, he's got a young daughter that he takes care of as well, and you know, that's a pretty delicate balance, especially working at a boarding school where, you know, the workday doesn't end at 3 o'clock like it does at most schools. But you know, he's remained committed to the students here and to the values of the community life office, I think. And like I said, I mean, he is a integral part of like the campus community here, and I'm just lucky to call him a friend.
And just to finish here, Mr. T, Arsenal will never, ever be as good as the Liverpool Football Club. Thank you for everything.